the nation's commercial capital. This is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Ijoma Oyenato.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, 2 teenage female suicide bombers explode in crowded market in Maiduguri, Borno State. 33 people killed. Senate and service chiefs meet over extension of emergency rule in Adamawa, Borno and Yobe states. INEC advises political parties to implement the 35% slots for women during the conduct of their primaries. And rioting plus looting in the suburb of St. Louis, Missouri, United States, following the jury's decision not to bring charges against a policeman for killing a black teenager.
On business news tonight, Nigeria's benchmark interest rates rise by 100 basis points to 13%.
And on sports news tonight, Confederation of African Football lays down minimum standards for teams competing in its club tournaments, threatens to kick out defaulting sides.
It's been a day of tears and bloodshed in Maiduguri, Borno State, after 2 female suicide bombers detonated their devices in a popular crowded market, killing 33 people. Eyewitness reports say the 2 girls simply walked into the one-way area of Maiduguri's main market around 11:30 a.m. and one of them blew herself up, killing about 3 women. When unsuspecting sympathizers gathered to watch the scene, the second girl, who was also heavily wired with explosives, screamed and then detonated the device hidden under her garment, blowing up herself and killing about 30. This brings the total number killed to 33. The Borno State coordinator of the civilian JTF, Mr. Abba Aji Kali, told journalists that he's counted about 11 corpses, and others, according to him, have been taken away by family members. Authorities of the Specialist Hospital Maiduguri confirmed to Channels Television that more injured persons are being brought to the Accident and Emergency Unit of the hospital for medical attention. Several bodies have also been brought to the hospital morgue. This explosion is coming a day after suspected Boko Haram militants attacked Damasak town in Borno State, setting fire to houses and killing scores of people. This is the 4th major attack over the last week in Borno State, which has already seen close to 100 people die, including fishermen shot dead in a remote community over the weekend. Well, for those who consider Boko Haram members as Islamic groups, the Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs and the Islamic Welfare Foundation say they are not, and instead choose to call them murderers. At an event in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, the 2 Islamic groups condemned the killings in the northeast and warned the insurgents against attacks on women and children. Speakers also called on the military to step up its efforts to ensure that the group is eradicated.
For the peaceful movement.
This is a gathering of Islamic scholars and representatives of Muslim organizations across the country. They are bordered by the wrong notion being spread about that the militant group Boko Haram represents Islam. For them, this is a misinformation.
When they claim to marry off adopted girls in flagrant disobedience of Sharia, that marriage is invalid without the consent of the girl or lady and that of our parents. So you find that at every turn, they are doing the opposite of what Islam teaches.
Lending his voice to the criticism, Professor of Islamic Studies from the National Open University, H.I.D, says there's no connection between the doctrines being pursued by the group and Islam.
The fundamental issue is that all Islamic organizations in Nigeria were formed with a view to propagating Islam, helping the deprived, gaining religious knowledge, and insights, and thus making believers become better Muslims.
Other speakers agree on the need for Nigerians to live together as one. They also stressed that the Quran forbids killing.
Regardless of whichever camp anyone may belong to, one certain thing is that at the end of this conference, we will be further enriched on the relationship between religion, Islam in particular, and the Nigerian state in general. This enrichment is no doubt welcome, especially in an era where there is a lot of misunderstanding and misrepresentation of Islam in Nigeria, especially with the activities of those who commit un-Islamic acts using the name of Islam among Muslims.
Beyond establishing that Boko Haram is un-Islamic, this group of scholars also condemned the killing of women and children in the northeast of Nigeria. They advised the military to step up plans to end the activities of Boko Haram.
Now, fresh violence erupted in some parts of Ibadan, northwest local government area of Oyo State, Nigeria's southwest region, leaving destruction and looting of property in its wake. It's, however, not clear if this fresh violence is as a result of political interference. Residents in some of the areas affected attributed the chaos in which a police inspector has been confirmed dead to the clash which began on Friday last week during an APC rally.
The terrain did not pose any difficulty.
We could not make arrests in such a situation. These guys will just come out. You all know how the areas look like. The roads are not accessible for police vehicles, and even by the time they run into a building, before the police will run thinking that they've run into one building, they would have entered into like 100 buildings behind them.
The victims of the two-day violence cut across various social and economic strata of the community. Former Oyo State Governor and leader of the Accord Party, Chief Rashid Ladoja, was also on the receiving end.
We think the survival aspirants in the various parties, those are the ones that are causing crisis for the people. And I believe that, by and large, once these ones are caught and they are dealt with, it will never happen again. And I can assure you that they will be caught. The unfortunate thing is that the government that prides itself on peace, it is his own party that are now causing this crisis, because it happened during the meeting.
The director of media and publicity for the APC has denied the involvement of his party members in the fracas, claiming that the APC is a peace-loving party. He also attributed the mayhem to the works of detractors.
What happened yesterday at around Bofoto, Idiarere and environ was a sponsored violence orchestrated by some enemies of progress, as it were, some agents of darkness who were pained by the achievement of the president in the states, and they feel that it's only when they are able to create an atmosphere of insecurity that they can have their way back into the system of governance in the states.
Meanwhile, fresh violent attacks resumed this morning at Opo Yosa area of Ibadan, where shops, houses and property were destroyed. Some eyewitness accounts say the attacks started late in the night, but the cause is yet to be ascertained.
A Thanksgiving service marking the 99th birthday of the matriarch of the Awolowo dynasty and the wife of the late sage and premier of the defunct Western region, Mrs. Hannah Didiolu Awolowo, has been held in Ikenne local government area of Ogun State, southwest Nigeria. The event, which held at the residence of the Awolowos, was attended by dignitaries from all walks of life, including the governor of Ogun State and his wife, Delta State Governor, former Deputy Governors of Lagos State Alhaji Lateef Jakonde and Koforola Bokno Akerele, Senator Daisy Danjuma, Chief Ayo Adebanjo, among other dignitaries. To many of them, Mama H.I.D. Awolowo remains an icon of national development and a dependable mother and wife.
A unique day, certainly, gradually starting as guests make their way into the Efunyela Hall in Ikene, Ogun State, Nigeria, the country home of the Awolowo dynasty. Inside sits the celebrant and the wife of the man often referred to as a great sage, and in some quarters, the best president Nigeria never had, Chief Obafemi Awolowo. Mama Anna Didiolu Awolowo, regal and gorgeously dressed as one of her sons chats with her before the service kicks off. This procession signals the start of the meeting that could best be described as a Thanksgiving service. It is a high-profile gathering of some sort, as governors of Ogun and Delta states are present. Former governor of Lagos State, Alhaji Lateef Jakande, and some of the politicians who work with Chief Obafemi Awolowo in the action group, including Chief Ayo Adebanjo, also graced the occasion. The officiating minister of the day, Bishop of Ijebu Southwest, Right Reverend Babatunde Ogunbanwo, enjoys his sermon on good leadership.
We need men and women who fear the Lord. I wonder if the fear of the Lord, the creator of the whole universe, is still in our leaders in Nigeria today.
Mrs. H.I.D. Awolowo is many things to different people.
There's no way we can separate you from Baba. They've mentioned it. If a man is doing well, ask who is the wife. You have done well, and that's why we still doing
And then the mood is set to give thanks to the Creator who has endowed the celebrant with long life. It even gets more interesting as the non-Nigerian leads the praise and worship. Friends and well-wishers continue to shower praises at the sort of person Mrs. Awolowo is.
A rare gift from God, and the woman has been enjoying the grace of God for a long time. She's 99 today. Only people with the grace of God can live that far.
She can talk, our senses are complete, our memory is complete. It shows the grace of God in her.
I'm a member of this family, and I'm married at she's 99, and I just pray that God will continue to bless her.
Blessed with 5 children, 20 grandchildren, and 32 great-grandchildren, Mrs. Awolowo's life can be said to be a source of inspiration to many people. Sheun Kimbalue, Channels Television News.
Well, congratulations once again to the matriarch of the Awolowo dynasty. In part 2, after the break, Senate reopens, meets service chiefs on emergency rule. That's coming up in a moment. Please stay with us.